This is Nick Nelson, Mad Scientist of Muscle, and what I've got for you today here is a review of a really cool piece of leg training equipment from French Fitness. This is their PL Hack Squat leg press plate loaded machine. Now, before I get into the full review, I do want to let you know that they have given me a coupon code to use for you for 5% off if you do want to order one of these. That code is FitPower5. So if you're interested in getting one of these after you go through the full review, definitely use that code because it'll get you 5% off the price. Now, this is a really good one for home gym situations because it allows you to cover two primary leg exercises with one piece of equipment. The footprint is not huge. It does take up some space, but it's not bad. What the beauty of this thing is basically the quality of the two exercises that you're setting up here. Now, even though this is designed technically for home gym use, I think this could be listed as commercial quality because the construction on this and the quality of the components I think is really top notch. Now, I've got this set up right now to work as a leg press station. So before I get into that, I do want to kind of mention in terms of setup and putting this thing together, it did take about probably 3 hours all told to get this all set up. The instructions were really good. All the packaging was really good. It gives you a very clear indication of what needs to be done at which step, which I quite like. There's a lot of pieces of equipment that have terrible instructions, quite frankly. They did a really fantastic job with that, so shout out to that department in French Fitness. I really like what they did with that. Now, let's get right into the actual training here. So, the leg press setup. This is basically your 45-degree sled. This piece right here is adjustable, which is one of the things I really like about this whole setup. Not only is this adjustable, but this is adjustable too. So you can adjust the angle of your foot plate, you can adjust the angle of your bench. So you can go all the way from this, which is kind of an obtuse angle, and then you can go all the way to here, which gives you a more acute angle. Now, why would you want an acute angle on a leg press? Well, I'm going to tell you, because there's actually a really good reason for it. Now, when I was doing the leg press up here, I like to keep it a little bit at an angle like that, because what I found here is, and this is actually another good feature of it, it's a safety feature. I'll give you a quick demo. So when I'm doing the leg press, I found if my feet were too pointed that way, I was getting too much stretch and my range of motion was getting limited by my calf mobility. And I don't have great calves, I have kind of stiff calves and the Achilles tendon as well. So if a pad or a foot plate was set at too much of an angle, that would limit the kind of leg work that I could do. So without that, with the ability, I should say, to angle that foot plate more obtusely, which is greater than 90 degrees, it allows you to come down a little bit further here, which for this particular setup is good because this has an emergency stop at the bottom. So right here, and this is honestly one of the best features of this piece of equipment for home gym training. I've used leg press in commercial gym situations. I've pulled leg presses, weights off of people because they got stuck in the bottom and they couldn't get out. And yeah, literally it's not a pretty sight. If you're training at home, you can't take a chance with that. So this is beautiful for that because, basically it allows you to stop in the bottom position. Is it comfortable in this position? It's actually not bad, but if you had really long legs, it might be a little bit worse, obviously. But you're not going to get stuck and basically compacted like potentially you could in some leg press machines that I've tried. I haven't been to a commercial gym and used a leg press in quite a while, so I could be wrong on that in that maybe they have better safety stops. But this, it's going to allow you the safety of not getting crushed under weight, which is always a bonus in my opinion. Now, let me hop up real quick here. This is adjustable here too, so you can go, which basically from this high, which is that angle, there's a little knob back here. You pull, and you can set that way back, so you can lean all the way back like you're reclining in a chair. I like to keep this kind of upright. That's my preference, but obviously, if you want to tilt that back, you absolutely can. Now, next thing, let me go into why you want the ability to do an obtuse angle. A lot of people like to do calf raises in leg press. It kind of mimics the donkey calf raise in position with your hips at 90 degrees. On this particular machine, you can't really set your feet in here and do a good calf raise. So what they've done is actually even better. You pop this pin and you set that to the acute angle. And maybe you can see where I'm going with this. Because now, this instantly creates an angle for calf training, which I desperately need. So as you can see, right now, this actually feels like an awesome stretch. So that angled pad, or that angled foot plate, I should say, creates basically your own calf block right here. And then you press up. You come all the way down. You can hold that stretch very comfortably. You can, push on your knees to lock them out if you want to do that. But this creates a fantastic calf raise situation for a home gym. This is really good. This is something I would really, I should say something I find really effective and really useful. Now, easily moved pop pin. These rails, these safety rails are good. They've got multiple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different levels that you can re-rack on. So even if you're close to the bottom, you can't press it up, swing these bars and you're good to go. This rail here means it's easy to grip when you're down here. It's easy to grip when you're doing hack squats. Very straightforward. Now, let's switch it over to doing hack squats. I'm going to show you how fast and easy this is to do that. So what you're going to do here is pop that pin, swing the foot plate all the way down. This comes right off. There's little hooks. These things right here, these posts, this hooks right into here. So you instantly, well, maybe I shouldn't say instantly when I get the orientation wrong, but very quickly you can set that up. Now you're all set for hack squats. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to pull some of these plates off. Obviously, generally you're going to use a lot less weight for hack squats than you will for a leg press. What I will do, however, is once I'm done showing the hack squats, I'm going to load this thing up with as much weight as it'll take so you can see how much of a capacity this has. The company lists 1,000 pounds as the weight capacity on this machine. I could see that. So what I'm going to do is show you that as well. So we'll come back to that. But in the meantime, I'll show you how easy it is to get weight off of here. So it comes with a little spring clip. Now you can slide these plates all the way back. I was using it, I like to just keep them forward, so that's just personal preference. These are perfectly horizontal, so it really doesn't matter. And now you're all set for hack squats. Now, again, you can switch the angle on this foot plate here. For example, if you find that you need more of a flat angle, you can absolutely change that foot plate so it'll be more comfortable as you're doing the exercise. And the foot plate I found is a decent width. You're not going to go super wide on these, whether it's leg press or hack squats. So, keeping like a little bit outside of shoulder width is going to be just right, and it's going to work just fine for any sort of hack squats you need. So you come all the way down here. Now again, this is as far down as it goes. So if you want to go further down, like if you want full-on super deep hack squats, you would technically need to add your own block on here, because this is as high as this angle goes, and this is low as this machine goes. So, if you're taller or have longer legs, you will get more range of motion. If you're shorter, you may find that potentially you would need to add more blocks, more height under your feet. For me personally, I'm 5'10". This is the perfect height to stop me from having to go too far. In my own training, I haven't really used a lot of hack squat training, to be honest, because I find for me personally, my knees kind of rebel against it a little bit. Once I get warmed up, I can do pretty good with it. But for the first set or two, I do get a little bit of tweaking in my knees, a little bit of torque in my knees. That's not a knock on this machine in particular. That's every hack squat machine I've ever tried in my entire life. I have the same situation. What I do like about this one is the ability to change that foot plate angle. A lot of the hack squats I've tried in the past, that wasn't possible. What you got is what you got. With this, because you can set that to a flatter angle, it does change the angle of resistance that you're going to get and the angle of push that you're going to get, so that could actually be helpful for your knees if you do have that same issue. Now, these things, they do shift around a bit, so that's actually a good thing. Press in and then just squat up. Now, it's a very smooth action, both on the leg press and on the hack squat. What you're going to want to be sure of is that you're not shifting your hips too far forward, and that's just a regular hack squat tip. You want to keep things in contact. You get your shoulders kind of wedged into the corner of the shoulder pad and the back pad, and then so you can see when I'm doing this, I can't go further down than this, which for me is just fine. Now, if I were to change that foot plate angle, it would actually decrease the range of motion even a little bit more. What I also found too is that by doing that, it made it a little bit harder on my knees. Now again, that's not a knock on this machine at all, because that's just me with hack squats. It is what it is. So bottom line here, in terms of ease of use and setup, it's super quick to change back and forth between your hack squats and your leg press. It's easy to add weight on, easy to pull weight off. I've been trying to think of something I didn't like about this machine. To be quite honest, I was trying to think of some negatives on this, and I haven't really been able to come up with anything. I gotta be honest, because the adjustability on this is really good. Maybe I guess the biggest knock, and it's kind of an iffy kind of knock, would be the range of motion on the hack squats. The range of motion on the leg press, I think, is good. And my sub pump agrees, but the range of motion is good, and it stops me kind of right where I would be the most comfortable stopping regardless. In the hack squats, I wouldn't mind being able to go a little further down. So that is kind of one thing. If there was an ability to, maybe add an add-on to this, let me show you on the back here what I'm talking about. I'll go close up. You can see on the back here, this fits right into these things right here, and this has a little hook right in there, so that hooks in. If I really wanted to increase the range of motion, I would absolutely love to have something that would hook right in here that would create a bigger foot pad. Now, you'd have to kind of change the mechanics of how this hooks in, because what's going to happen is that in here. If you were to set that up like something and you were started to push your feet up that way, you could potentially loosen that up. So if it was something where you could hook this in and then, clip it on at the bottom so it's not going anywhere, that'd be fantastic. That would be a great way to be able to choose your range of motion more effectively if you really wanted to do ATG hack squats coming all the way down, because the range of motion of those stops will limit you on this. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pause here, and then I'm going to load as much weight as I can on these posts to give you an idea of how much weight you really can use with this, commercial quality home gym setup. And in most pieces of equipment, I hesitate to say that. A lot of these leg training pieces of equipment are good, but they would not hold up to a commercial situation. I think this one, the quality on this one from French Fitness, they've done a fantastic job with this. This is built to last. It's built like a tank, and I'm going to load a whole boatload of plates on here and show you what the capacity of it is. All right, so I've got the machine fully loaded here. Now, this is 450 pounds on either side, and then the carriage weighs about 90 pounds. So as you can see, this is holding up just fine. When I was putting the weight on here, I didn't get the feeling that this was going to bend or break at all. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plates on either side. So 450, that's 900 pounds plus 90 something on there. You're literally able to do leg press with 1,000 pounds on here if you really wanted to. If you're using this for hack squats, you're a monster. But you literally could, load this up with this much weight and this machine will hold up. All right, so now it's time to sum everything up. Basically, this thing is awesome. I really like this machine, and both of the functions work equally well on it as far as I'm concerned. This is just as good as any hack squat I've tried in a gym, if not better, and just as good as any leg press I've tried in a gym, if not better, because of the adjustability not only of the back, but of the foot plate. Pretty much you're not going to have any issues. Even if you're really, really strong and your legs are like tree trunks, you are going to be able to use enough weight on here to get the job done in a home gym situation, which is perfect. One other thing I do want to mention, this does have the capability of bolting the machine to the floor. So these pads on here in the corner, they actually have 4 holes in them. So if you really wanted to, you could bolt this machine down to the floor. I'm not going to be doing that in my basement here because I do need to move stuff around every once in a while. But just overall, my impression of this is pretty much commercial quality, but priced for a home gym situation. So if you're looking for a really complete leg training machine, this will actually do the job. Definitely 10 out of 10 in terms of quality and function. Now, if you are interested in getting one of these, definitely use that code I mentioned at the beginning of the video, FitPower5, that's the number 5. That'll get you 5% off the price of this machine.